Most men think their morning erection fades because they're getting older. But what if I told you the real reason has nothing to do with age, testosterone, or even desire? And what if I showed you 3 points on your own body, 3 hidden spots you can activate with nothing but your hands that quietly reignite blood flow, sensation, and responsiveness down there, without pills, pumps, or prescriptions? Stick with me, because what I'm about to explain is something 95% of doctors never mention, and by the time we're done, you'll know how to restore your morning wood naturally, safely, and consistently, no matter how long it's been. I'm Dr. Sophia Jain. I've worked with men in their 60s, 70s, and even their 80s, and let me tell you, it's never too late. In fact, many of my patients see real results not by doing more, but by learning to tune in to what their body has been trying to tell them for years. I'm not here to sell magic. I'm here to give you real tools, things you can start using today. And these 3 pressure points I'll walk you through, they're backed by both Western anatomy and Eastern medicine. They're safe, proven, and overlooked by nearly every mainstream guide. Now, before we get into the actual points, let me say one thing clearly. Losing morning erections doesn't mean you've lost your manhood. It doesn't mean you're broken. It means your system has slowed down, often because of circulation issues, nerve signaling, and muscle tightness, not failure. The same way a faucet gets rusty when it hasn't been turned in a while, your lower body may just need attention. And the moment you give it that, things begin to change. I've seen it over and over. Men who thought it was over now wake up every morning with energy, strength, and a renewed sense of self. Let's get to the first pressure point. It's located just above the pubic bone, right at the center line of your lower abdomen. If you place 3 fingers just below your belly button and press down gently, you'll feel a slightly tender area. That's the front command center. In Chinese medicine, it's known as CV4, and in Western terms, it's where a cluster of nerves, lymph vessels, and pelvic muscles meet. When this point is dormant, blood doesn't circulate properly and nerve signals get weak. But when you activate it, firmly, patiently, daily, you wake up the entire pelvic network. I recommend starting with deep belly breaths while applying gentle circular pressure with your fingertips, just 5 minutes a day. Morning or evening, it doesn't matter. What matters is consistency. One of my patients, Daniel, age 67, had gone nearly 4 years without a single natural morning erection. He told me he'd tried pills, but they made his heart race. He was embarrassed and thought he was done. I taught him this point and asked him to press it slowly each morning before getting out of bed. By day 10, he noticed a subtle fullness returning down there. By week 3, he had his first natural erection in years. That brings us to the second point. It's not often discussed, but it may be the most powerful. Located between the base of your scrotum and your anus, this area is known as the perineum. In Eastern medicine, it's CV1. In anatomy, it's the location of the perineal body, a key structural hub for pelvic floor muscles, blood vessels, and nerves. It's where everything converges. Most men never touch this area intentionally, but when gently stimulated, it acts like a gateway for restoring nerve response and relaxing tight muscles that have been cutting off circulation. Don't press hard. Sit on a small folded towel or a soft ball no wider than a tennis ball. Then breathe, slowly. With each exhale, allow your body to soften. You may feel warmth. You may feel nothing at first. That's okay. What matters is that you're showing your body where to send awareness and blood again. For years, I've had older men tell me, it feels like something turned back on. That's not magic. That's your nervous system remembering how to fire again. One man, Calvin, age 73, said he felt a soft vibration in his pelvis after just 4 days. And a week later, he said something shifted. The lights didn't just turn on, they stayed on. Let's move to the third pressure point. It's not in your groin or your abdomen. It's along the inner thigh, right where your thigh meets the crease of your pelvis. Use your thumb to press gently into this area while lying on your back. If you feel a tender spot, stay there. That soreness means you found an area where blood and lymph are stagnating. This zone runs along what both Western and Eastern systems agree is a key artery and nerve pathway, the femoral artery and the spleen meridian. If it's blocked or tight, your lower body can't get what it needs. Gregory, a 70-year-old former teacher, had never heard of this area until I pointed it out. I had him trace his thumb from his groin down his inner thigh each morning for 5 minutes. That's it. No pressure, just awareness and breath. After 2 weeks, he called and said, "Dr. Jain, I thought my body was done, but now I'm waking up with that old fire again." That's the power of activating the thigh crease. It doesn't just send blood where it needs to go, it retrains your system to prioritize that flow each night while you sleep. Now, activating these 3 points, the lower belly, the perineum, and the inner thigh, sets the foundation. But if you want to make this work long-term, you need to support your body with daily habits that reinforce circulation, nerve signaling, and hormone balance. This isn't about adding stress. It's about removing friction and letting your system operate the way it was designed. And that starts with breath. Most men breathe high in their chest, especially under stress, but erections require relaxation. The parasympathetic nervous system, or what we call rest and digest mode, is the only state in which a natural erection can happen. So here's what I recommend. Spend 5 minutes every morning breathing through your nose and into your belly. Sit upright, let your shoulders relax, and feel your abdomen rise and fall. This does more than calm your mind. It triggers nitric oxide production, opens blood vessels, and tells your nervous system it's safe to send blood down south again. Combine this with pressure point work, and you're giving your body the signal it's been waiting for. Not force, not performance, just attention and safety. Next is hydration. After age 60, our body loses water faster. Overnight, our blood thickens, especially if we're not drinking enough. Thick blood can't flow into the delicate chambers of your penis the way it needs to. Start your day with a glass of warm water, before coffee, before breakfast. Warm water acts like a primer. It helps thin the blood, support kidney function, and flush out toxins that may be clogging up circulation. It's simple, but it works. Then there's sugar. I won't tell you to cut it all out, but the truth is, even moderate sugar intake, especially before bed, leads to chronic inflammation in the blood vessels. When those tiny arteries in the penis are inflamed, blood can't enter properly. I had a patient who simply stopped eating dessert after dinner. Within 3 weeks, he noticed firmer morning wood and more energy in his legs. Why? Because his blood vessels had room to breathe again. You don't need intense workouts. In fact, too much strain can backfire after a certain age. But a 15-minute walk after dinner, that's gold. Walking gently activates the calf muscles, which in turn help push blood back toward the heart. This improves circulation throughout the body, including the pelvic floor. If walking isn't possible, even light stretching or leg lifts can help. What matters is you keep the lower body awake and responsive. Finally, the way you touch your body matters. This might sound subtle, but I've seen it make a difference. If you approach these pressure points with frustration or force, your body resists. But if you bring curiosity, patience, and care, your nervous system relaxes. That's when the real changes happen. Your body wants to cooperate. It just needs to feel safe again.
Over the years, I've seen these methods work for men from all walks of life. Retired mechanics, former athletes, school principals, war veterans, and every one of them came in carrying the same silent question. Is it too late for me? My answer has never changed. No, it's not too late. Not if you're willing to show up for your body, even in small ways. The men who saw the biggest transformations weren't the ones who pushed the hardest. They were the ones who showed up every single day with calm, steady attention. I think of one patient in particular. His name was Joseph. He was 72, a former firefighter who had been through back surgeries and 2 rounds of prostate treatment. When he came to me, he wasn't expecting miracles. He said, "Doc, I just want to feel like my body still belongs to me." That sentence stuck with me, because what most men are truly after isn't just sex. It's connection. It's the feeling of ownership, of being whole, of waking up in the morning and knowing your body still responds to your presence. I walked him through the 3 pressure points. I taught him the breathing. I asked him to touch his body without shame, without judgment, and to give it time. 3 weeks in, he called me and said, "I don't know what happened this morning, but I woke up and it felt like everything down there turned back on." That's not just physiology. That's emotional return. That's confidence rebuilding itself, quietly, one morning at a time. And that's what I want for you. Now let's talk about how you turn this from a technique into a habit, how to make this stick for the long haul. The first step is consistency. You don't need to do everything perfectly, you just need to do it regularly. 5 minutes of pressure point activation in the morning, 5 minutes of deep belly breathing, a glass of warm water, a light walk. That's not a burden, that's a routine. And when you repeat it each day, your body begins to expect it. That's when healing becomes automatic. That's when results last. Second, choose a time of day and protect it. Whether it's before your shower, after waking up, or just before bed, treat this like something that matters, because it does. These 5 to 10 minutes each day are not just for erections. They're for blood flow, brain health, hormone function, sleep quality, and yes, confidence. The body listens to consistency. It remembers what we repeat. If you feed it distraction, it gives you fatigue. But if you feed it attention, it gives you life. Third, track how you feel, but don't obsess over results. Some men feel warmth and tingling the first week, others need more time. But your nervous system is always listening. Even if you don't see dramatic changes right away, something inside is shifting. Energy is returning to areas that have been ignored. Blood is moving where it hasn't moved in years. And each time you show up, your body gets the message, "I'm not giving up on you." Let me share another story. A man named Bruce reached out to me last year. He was 66, recently retired, and quietly battling a sense of disconnection. His words were simple. "Dr. Jain, I've lost my edge." He didn't mean aggression, he meant presence. That feeling of sharpness, of being alive. We began this practice together, starting with the pressure points, breath work, and movement. After 4 weeks, he emailed me not just to tell me about his erections, but about how his mornings had changed. He wrote, "I feel like myself again. I walk taller, I sleep deeper, I even catch my wife smiling at me differently." That's what this work does. It restores more than function. It restores identity. And here's the most important part. Bruce didn't do anything extreme. He didn't take medications or buy expensive equipment. He just showed up one day at a time and treated his body like it was worth caring for. You may be asking, what if I've tried things before and nothing worked? I hear that all the time, and I get it. There's frustration, there's doubt. You may have tried pills that gave you headaches, devices that felt awkward, therapies that promised everything and delivered nothing. But the difference here is that you're not forcing your body. You're inviting it. These pressure points are not tricks. They are real physical gateways to arousal and function. Your body hasn't forgotten how. It's just been waiting for you to guide it back. So let's review what to do, briefly and clearly. Each morning, sit up or lie flat and press gently on your lower belly, 3 fingers below the navel. Breathe deeply. Feel for that slight ache. That's the spot. Stay there for a minute. Then, sit on a soft towel or cushion that makes contact with the perineum, the space between your anus and scrotum. Relax, breathe, don't force. Finally, trace your inner thigh from the groin crease downwards, slowly with your thumb. Pause at any tight or tender points, breathe into those areas, and let them relax. Pair that with 5 minutes of belly breathing, 1 glass of warm water when you wake up, a walk after dinner, and less sugar at night. That's it. That's the system. You don't need a full lifestyle overhaul. You need daily, honest attention. You don't need to rush. You just need to show up. One of the hardest things for men over 60 is the belief that this part of their life is over, that real intimacy, real confidence, real connection is behind them. I'm here to tell you that's not true, not even close. I've watched men in their 70s and 80s wake up to a version of themselves they thought was lost. And not just in bed. in their posture, their voice, their spirit. When you restore this part of yourself, it spills into everything else. You carry yourself differently. You speak with more ease, you sleep more peacefully, your mind quiets down. I had a patient, Raymond, who told me something after 6 weeks of this practice. He said, "I feel like I'm back in my own skin." That's the kind of result that no medication can deliver, because it comes from inside. And that's what you deserve. Not just a quick fix, but a lasting change. A steady reclaiming of your body, your energy, and your presence as a man. So what's next? Keep it going. Don't wait until motivation hits. Let discipline carry you when inspiration fades. Put a reminder by your bed. Write a note on your bathroom mirror. Set a quiet alarm on your phone. Whatever it takes to stay committed. Because once this becomes a part of your life, it stops feeling like effort. It becomes second nature. And the results will keep building, quietly, steadily, and powerfully. And when that morning comes, and it will, when you wake up and feel that old strength again, that firm return of sensation and blood flow, I want you to remember this. It wasn't luck. It wasn't chance. It was you. Showing up, paying attention, and choosing not to settle. You took control. You listened. You reconnected. And that's something no one can take from you. Your body is capable. Your system is intact. And no matter how long it's been, your manhood is still yours. These 3 pressure points are not just tools, they are bridges, back to sensation, back to flow, back to presence. And when you use them consistently with patience and purpose, they deliver. Not instantly, not overnight, but steadily, reliably, and naturally. If you've come this far with me, I want to leave you with this final message. You are not broken. You are not too old. You are not out of time. What you felt missing is not gone. It's simply been waiting for attention, for touch, for breath, waiting for you to say, "I'm ready to reconnect." And now you are. You've learned how to activate your core, restore circulation, awaken dormant nerves, and support your system through simple daily actions. But more than that, you've learned to respect your body again, to show it care, to stop fighting it and start working with it. That shift changes everything. So wherever you are right now, sitting in your chair, lying in bed, or just watching quietly from your phone, I want you to remember this. Your body hasn't given up on you, and neither have I. Keep going, stay steady, and day by day, you'll feel it return. That strength, that pulse, that quiet fire. Not for performance, not for pride, but for you. Because you deserve to feel alive, connected, and confident in your own skin again. Not someday, not next year, but starting now. This has been Dr. Sophia Jain. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for showing up for yourself. And wherever this message finds you, I hope it lights a spark, one that leads you back to yourself, fully, completely, and with strength.